Hey, welcome to the Car Connection Workshop. Nope, it's not a car, but you know what? It has a lot of the same features that cars have. It's got to have air, it's got to have gas, and somebody on the end of it to drive it. Yep, we're going to show you how to, this is part 2, how to get your snowblower running correctly when it sucks. Now, if you're working on vacuums, then if it sucks, that's a good thing. But the snowblower, if it sucks, it's not good. And this one's been extremely good. So I'm just going to walk you through a couple things. We did a preliminary already. Don't forget to visit the biggest drawer we have in our toolbox for you is our Car Connection Business Network, ccbusnet.com website. On our website, that's where all our program partners are located. Click on a logo. It opens a profile page. They're there to assist you the best way they know how. So connect and let them know that Motormouth sent you. Top right-hand corner of our homepage has all the links, including our merch store, available to you as well. So stop by our website anytime so you can connect on all the platforms. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Stevensville on the web.ca. Click on the businesses tab to open our profile. Our iHeartRadio is there as well. Click on that. You can get our podcasts. We have 52 programs done already in 6 weeks, and it used to take me all year on radio for 31 years to do 52 shows. I've done 52 morning drives for you. 8 a.m. in the morning is the drop time. Don't miss it, because you're going to save thousands of dollars in automotive repairs. So if you want to save time, money, and a few bloody knuckles, you're in the right shop. You're on the right channel. Let's get started. Woo! Turn on the lights. Somebody say lights. Lights! Lights! Lights!
Camera action.
Okay, we're there. Whew, no dancing. First and foremost, if you haven't installed one of these on your lawn and garden equipment, you need to do it. It's like $4. Fuel shutoff switch. Takes you no time to put it in, and it's on and it's off. That stops the flow of fuel into the carburetor and causing two things I've learned. Number one, it puts too much pressure on the float and the needle and seat, because there's the pressure from the weight of the fuels, because it's gravity fed, right? Until the engine starts, it's gravity fed. Number two, if you have forgotten to clean out old fuel, if you've got a shutoff valve, you've eliminated that dirty fuel from getting into the carburetor. So now you can suck it out, clean out the tank, and you haven't polluted the carburetor. Because what I do, the end of the season is, I fill this with 40-to-1 chainsaw fuel. So it has gas and oil, 2-stroke. I do a 2-stroke mix in here, and then I start it up. And so now I have 2-stroke gas and oil going into the carburetor, and I let it suck it in and run, and then I shut it off. I shut the fuel flow off. So now I have premix in here, and I have premix in my carburetor. So at the beginning, the end of the season, that's how I'll leave this parked all summer. And then when it comes winter, I suck that 40-to-1 out, and I reuse that in my chainsaws, because I always put fuel treatment in here to keep the fuel longer. And there's some good ones out there and not so good. And we'll do a program on that and go through which fuel stabilizers are the ones that you want to use. So just a little trade secret there that I thought I'd share is your riding mower, anything that's lawn and garden, get a fuel shutoff if it's not equipped, and put one in there. Okay, so what we got to do is we got to pull out the off-on key. We can leave this here, which is the choke lever. We can leave that there, but we got to take off the, this is your, it's not choke. This is your idle speed. Low, turtle, rabbit. Yeah, turtle, and rabbit. So choke is here, full choke off. So we got to get this button off. So that's where I use my brake tool, because of cantilevers. get right under there. Don't go on the edge. And again, if the snowblower is freezing cold, you got to go real slow, because I imagine this knob's probably like 60 bucks, something really stupid. So you want to take that off. We got 2 screws here to take off. And then we'll get down to the float bowl and we'll be in no time flat. And I've been in here many times before, so what I do is everything is rust proofed and lubed, so I know I can get the screws out. I know. It's kind of tricky, but it's true. So I put those right in there, my magnetic holder. And now we got to kind of weasel this out. I don't usually take that screw out because it's pretty rough. And now I'm in here in like minutes. And then disconnect the, if you want, you can. If you can get this to just kind of settle off to the side. But I might just pull that off so that you can see what I'm doing here. So I'll get 2 pairs of pliers. Don't just reef on this, that's your ground. So when you ground the tab, you shut the engine off. So I'm going to move that full throttle, and I'm going to take it off here so that you can just have a better view. So I'm going to need to hold it here and right there, otherwise you're going to break it right off, and then you know what, project time. You don't want to go there. So make sure you got a good supply of needle nose pliers. That's all I can tell you. You know what? Make sure you got a really good supply, because it matters. It really does. If you try to get that off with vice grips, I can't tell you how many pieces of equipment I've picked up for free because somebody's broke that tab right off and they couldn't get it running, and then they get frustrated. And yeah, so I like my stork pliers. I can get in there. I can grab this. I can use my angled pliers and hold that and pull that off. See that? Just do it. Because you break the wire off in here, you got a project. You got to try and solder onto it, and you're wasting a ton of time. So just, these little tricks that I do, I don't share them with you just to waste my voice, but this is the stuff that costs you money. If you brought this to me and I'm a small engine repair shop, you're going to be $90+ an hour. So how much farting around do you want to do? The answer, not much. In a lot of places, just to have them check something is going to cost you a minimum of $100 or $90 plus tax. So we're just undoing the bottom nut that holds it, and this cup is stepped. See that? It has a ridge here. Pay attention, because the float is actually sitting in here on the higher side, not the lower side. In the previous part 1, I showed you a carburetor off a John Deere tractor, and it was just cupped. So it doesn't matter what position you put the cup back on. Okay, they call it a bowl. I like to call it a cup, but it doesn't matter. Same darn thing. Okay, so what I had going on was I can't throttle up, it just dies. Number 2, I got fuel leaking around the float bowl. So on this piece, I'm going to show you a little trick. There's a little something you need to know about this baby. Pay attention. It'll be a quiz. Okay, I see what happened. Yeah, so I put a little cloth here. Is there any machismo in there? It's a technical term for stuff that doesn't belong here. No, it's good. It's good. So we'll get a cloth. Did you like that? I studied that in college. Yeah, I can say I know how to tear off paper towel when I need to with one hand. But I've never really used algebra. I'm still working on that. Yeah. When you're in a real death-defying position, Do we really need or care what X and Y equal? No, just get your butt out of there. All right, so shine down here a little bit and get some light on the, we want this light here now. There we go. Here now. So watch this. Get right, oh, that's nice. Look at that, that's so nice. Get the wrench out of the way. Keep an eye on this. We need that. I'm going to show you a secret. So now, here's what we got going on is this has gone kind of gooey. Yeah, I'd say. That's probably the reason why that's not sealing. So now we need to get the needle out. So we pull our pin, hang on to your float, and just bring that out. See the needle coming out right there? Okay. So we need to bring that out. I've been here. Yes, I have. This is already a kit. So we'll see. Whoa. Oh, what an old timer. I'm all right. Okay, so we're just going to put this right here on that lid. And my pin, that is a kit already. How do I know that? I'll tell you why. Because I know the spring in here. Yeah. But I see what the problem is this gasket is not really fitting here anymore. See that? It's kind of freaked out. It's not fitting. So I have been there with a kit, and this doesn't fit anymore. So that's why the fuel was leaking around the bowl. So I was also, when I'm trying to prime it, I could hear sucking down at the carburetor, which told me we're sucking air. And so when I go to throttle up, it's not going to allow me to throttle because it can't get any more fuel. It's sucking air instead of sucking fuel. Because once the engine runs, this is your primer to send some extra couple shots of fuel to get a cold engine running. This is your shutoff, so your shutoff's got to be open so the gravity feeding of the fuel, once the engine starts, then engine vacuum sucks the fuel in. Like that. Yeah. So this is not going to fit this no matter what I do. No matter what I do. So don't even go there. You're going to frustrate yourself to no end. So just don't. Say goodbye. See that? That's going to fit right in that cup like no tomorrow. So what we're going to do is we will put another kit in. And I'll tell you what. I bought a kit, this same kit from a dealer, $27. I went on the Jungle website looking for carb kits, because this is the whole enchilada right here. That's a carb kit. $2.27 a piece. I ordered 5 because I have a lot of equipment. It's for Tecumseh and Briggs & Stratton. So $2.27, I got an envelope of 5 or $27. Yeah, just a little too much. Yeah, on that, way too much. So that's right there, I just saved you money. Huge. Because like I said, small engine repair, nothing against the fellas, but it's expensive to get your equipment serviced. Just for them to look at it, there's a minimal charge, so you better ask when you drop something off that they don't just get into it like I am right here and go, yeah, you need a carb kit. You're going to pay for that time. Minimum charge is 1 hour of labor. So again, I just saved you money. So what are we going to do here? We are going to put another kit in there and have another go. Would you like a go? You ever notice British people always say, would you like a go? What does that mean exactly? A go. Do you want to stop? Yeah, so we're going to stop there, come back with part 3. We're going to install the new seal. I'll show you where that goes. See this little fella right here? Yeah, you don't disclude that. That is the seat that the needle, the tip of the needle, drops into. See that point? It drops right into that hole in the seal. needle, and seat. So when you're putting a kit in, you're doing the whole kit, not just part of it. So when we come back, we're going to install the needle and seat and new gaskets, and then reset the whole shebang, get the float back in there. And I know the float is good because I checked it last year. It's not, if you hear liquid in your float, it has a hole in it. You can't use it because these are weighted and they're floats because there's no holes in it. If liquid gets inside it, then it weighs too much. And then that will throw your fuel supply off, way off. So till next time, come back for part 3. We're going to install the kit and get it back together and see if we're going to be able to blow snow, because I put a big pile together to road test so we can see, did we do okay or not? So till the next one, stop by our website, carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. That's the biggest drawer in the toolbox for you to connect with our program partners and to also connect with us on all the platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Stevensvilleontheweb.ca, iHeartRadio, and our merch store. Thanks for passing by. We'll see you in part 3. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. If you enjoyed the video, like I know you did, ring the notification bell.